All right, hello, Algebra 1. This is 2.1, Solving Inequalities. There is a note sheet available online if you'd like it. Print it off, and it's easier for all of us to follow and a little bit less for you to write. However, if you just like to use a regular sheet of notebook paper and a pencil, that'll be fine too. All right, let's get busy. So, solving inequalities means that I have four symbols that I got to remind you of what they are, and I will write them in this little table. This is what we call a less than sign. And when I think about less than, there is an L there, and this almost looks like an L. It's just kind of crooked. This is a greater than sign. Right? This is a less than or equal to. And this one is a greater than or equal to. Okay, and this is a not equal to sign. Right, so here's what's going to happen. You have 5 sentences here that you have to put the symbols, and that's all. You don't even have to really do the math for it. Okay, so watch what this means. It says a number W. What that means is, well, W I know is a variable. Okay, looks like a letter. But what you're going to do is you're going to input values for W in the form of a number and see if you get a true sentence or not. Okay, minus, I know what that looks like, 3.5. All right, now if I see the word is, I'm going to stop for a second and recognize one of these symbols as being an item that will go into the sentence. Okay, so less than or equal to is this one here. Okay, so looking like that, -2. There you go. All right, and you don't have to do anything else. Just do it piece by piece. All right, and when you hit that is, just know you have to look for one of these 4 items and then complete the rest. 3, that's the next one. There we go, 3 is less than. So less than is this guy. A number n. Okay, so I'm just going to write the letter n there. Plus, easy, 5. All right, that makes sense. We'll keep going. 0 is greater than or equal to, and greater than or equal to is this last one in the table. Okay, so it kind of looks like that. 0 is greater than or equal to twice a number, x. Now, what does twice mean? Well, if I said, hey, what is twice 2, you get 4. If I said, what is twice 10, you would get 20. And what are we doing each time? Well, we are multiplying by 2. We're doubling things. So that's the operation I'm going to do. Twice means multiply by 2. Twice, okay, means multiply by 2. 2x, okay, bring down your plus 1. Okay, so 0 is greater than or equal to 2x plus 1. Cool. All right, the next one, if we keep going, is a number b. There's your b. Is, again, look at those 4, fewer than. Okay, now I don't see fewer than, but that just means less than. Same thing. I'm going to write that in now since it came up on one. Fewer than. So let's make a less than 30.4. All right, last one, -7/10. Okay, is so that's I'm looking for one of these 4. At least. Okay, when you say at least, that is the same thing as greater than or equal to. So at least, I'll put that there. Okay, same thing. And then again, it says twice a number. We've done this before. 2k minus 4. All right, and so that's how you set those up. Again, anytime you see the word is, you're going to look for one of these symbols and then write the other items behind it, whatever symbols they may be. Okay, awesome. Let's keep going. All right, now it says values are solutions, okay, to the inequality if and only if the inequality is true when the given value is plugged into the variable. Okay, so Negative 4 could be a solution if you plug it in and it makes sense. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take negative 4, plug it into my x, and see if it's true. Okay, so this gives me negative 4 plus 8. You can do that in a calculator if you want. That gives you 4. And here's what I want to ask. Remember, this from the other side is less than. So is 4 less than negative 3? And no, 4 is not smaller than negative 3. Okay, so I'm going to write a big no. Okay, so like, can I make this the alligator and ask if that's the bigger number or not? And I went backwards, sorry. And the answer is yes, you can. If you want to go back to whenever you learn that. Okay, certainly. Okay, do you draw those in? Only for math parties, okay, but certainly not now. Okay, all right, next one. All right, negative 4, is that a solution? Let's plug that in. Now, I'm going to plug in that part last. Sorry, that was a 0.5. And I'm going to plug in negative 4 and see if this is true. And first of all, a negative times a negative is a positive. So that's already a great start because positives are always bigger than negatives. And so I already know this is going to be true because just for the signs. But if you were to do the math here, and again, you can do this on a graphing calculator, it does give you 18. 18 is bigger than negative 21. Okay. Any positive number is bigger than a negative. All right. All right, this one involves some addition and subtraction. They ask, is negative 6 a solution to each of these 4? Let's try. So let's see, negative 6 plus 4, and there's a negative 1. So when you add a negative 6 and a negative 4, that is a negative 2. And they want to know, is that smaller than negative 1? So here's what I do. I'm going to draw a number line. Here's 0, here's 1, here's 2. But I want negative 2 and negative 1. Here's negative 2, here's negative 1. The one that's further to the right is the bigger one. Okay, so the bigger ones are the ones that are supposed to be on the right. So if negative 2 is here and negative 1 is here, they're saying negative 2 is less than negative 1. Is that true? It is true. Okay, the bigger number is negative 1. It's the one that's closer to the right. Okay, so more positive direction. So that's good. All right, again, I'll plug in negative 6. So I've got 3 minus and then a negative 6. Sorry, true. All right, so here's your 10. 3 minus the negative 6, you can do that on a calculator. It does give you 9. And is 10 less than or equal to 9? No. Again, the mouth has to eat the bigger number, and 9 is not bigger than 10. So this is false. Okay. All right, next one. 21 divided by negative 6 is greater than or equal to negative 3.5. Okay, so you can do 21 divided by negative 6 in your calculator, and I think you get actually negative 3.5. And here's what they're asking. Is negative 3.5 greater than or equal to negative 3.5? Well, it's actually equal to. These are the exact same. So yeah, I would write true. Okay. All right, last one. This is a test of whether you know your numbers well in terms of positives and negatives, and if we have an understanding of what is bigger when your items are negative. So let's see. This is negative 24 minus 25 is greater than negative 2. And you can do this part in a calculator. Negative 24 and negative 25, or plus negative 25, will give you negative 49. And I want to know, is this true? Well, if this is 0, well, negative 2 is right here. And negative 49 is way over to the left. Which one is bigger? Okay, remember the bigger one is the one that's furthest to the right. And so negative 2 is actually bigger. Okay, between these two. And that's not what this is suggesting. Okay, the symbols say negative 49 is greater than -2, and it's not. This is actually the bigger number. The one that's furthest to the right is bigger. Okay, so this is also false. Sorry, that went too fast. False. Okay, let's keep going. This is slide 3. Okay, and we will have a shaded area. Let me do some symbols here first. Let's do the same 4 as before. And less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. And let me give you an example. Okay, let me talk about shaded area. Shaded area, if you have a little shaded symbol like this, that means or equal to. Okay, like less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. Okay, if it's an open circle, it's just less than. Like I wrote that, like that looks like the less than sign. I made that my L, or it's greater than. Okay, so if I said, for example, x is less than 2, imagine your number line. Okay, kind of like what you see down here. 0 is right here. 2 is just to the right of it. Okay, and I'm going to put an open circle there at 2. And I'm going to go where this arrow points. So if I look at this is kind of cheating. At first, at least. I'm going to do this in yellow because it looks light. Okay, see how it like points to the left? You can always do that as long as x is on the left-hand side. Okay, as long as x is on this side, you can just look at the arrow and go that direction. Okay. All right, next one is, I'll just make this up. X is greater than 3. I think that's dark enough for you to see. And it does the same idea. Okay, here's 0, here's 3. And again, it's an open circle. I'm not going to do the same thing. Open circle. And you're going to go to the direction it shows. Okay, but again, it only works when your x is on the left-hand side. All right, let's do another one. X is greater than or equal to -2. Sorry, that should be, it says greater than. Let me scratch this out. Should be less than. All right, so here's -2. And instead of putting just an open circle on there, if there's a little line there, it'll be a closed circle. Okay, and you're going to shade to the left. Okay, and then finally, there's a greater than. So let's draw one like that. I'll make a different letter. I'll call it Y. Y because I can. And this will be greater than or equal to 6. And I'm just making that up. Here's 6. Because I have a little line underneath there, that's going to be a filled in spot. And that is a greater than sign. So I will shade to the right. Okay. And so we'll practice some of these. Look at this here. This is y is less than or equal to -3. I'm going to call this 0. Okay. I'm going to go back 1, back 2, back 3. And at this spot, I have a greater than or equal to sign. So a less than or equal to sign. I'm going to put a dot there. And for the sake of not getting us all confused, I'm going to erase that guy. And then I'm going to shade in the direction that this shares here. Okay, so this looks like it's going to the left, so I will shade this way and put an arrow on the end. Okay, and what does that mean? It means any value that you input in for y that is less than -3 will give a true statement. Okay, and that's what those bars represent. Okay, let me do B just right underneath it. Now, you're going to see this on your homework, on your Clever, and what you're going to do is, for me, I'm going to flip it. Okay, and the rule is you can flip, but you also have to flip the sign. Flip the sign. Okay, meaning the less than sign now becomes a greater than sign. Okay, so you're allowed to do that. You can put the x on the left, which is comfortable to us, but you have to reverse those. Okay, so here's 0. 2 is to the right. Okay, and there's no symbol underneath there, so I'm going to put an open circle. And let's see, the arrow goes to the right, so you will shade to the right. Okay. All right, last one of this type, and I know there's a couple other ones over here. We'll look at those kind of generically in a second. X is greater than 0. Okay, so X is 0. I'm just going to write 0 here. And X is in the right spot, and so I'll just shade to the right with an open circle there. And again, it's an open circle because there is no symbol underneath there. There's no little line. Okay. If you ever have a fraction, you can do a couple things. You can, for example, write 0, 1, 2, and 3, and just make the fraction somewhere in between. That's okay. That should be open circle. I accidentally filled that in a little bit too much, but that is open. Okay. This here, this G, should be on the left-hand side. Okay, but that also means you got to flip this the reverse way. All right, so, and I don't know where 1.4 is, but there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. 1.4 is a closed circle somewhere in between those guys. Okay, and again, you'll, in this case, shade. Okay, in this case, you'll also shade this way. All right, I said I was going to do all of them, but we are. There's -8. B's on the right side, meaning the correct side. It's actually on the left, but the correct side. And I'm going to put a open circle there, and you will point to the right, so you'll shade to the right. All right, I hope you've seen these before, and I hope this comes back to maybe something you've done in the past. Okay, I hope it is familiar. All right, next one, and I think this may be the last one. It says write the inequality that represents the graph. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make up a letter since they don't give one for us. X. Okay. Then let's take this number here, -6. Let's put it off to the right of it. And then if the arrow is pointing this way, I'm going to use this symbol here. So I'm going to put this symbol there. And then I'm going to look at and see if this is filled. If it's filled, then you have to put a little line on there. Okay. That little line means you got a filled point. Cool. All right, this may be our last one. It says the graph shows the height restrictions H for 2 rides at an amusement park. Okay, write an inequality that represents the height of each ride. Okay, so for ride A, let's see. I'm just going to use A here as a letter because that's what they give me. And 48 is the number I'm going to use. And let's see. The way it goes is it goes to the right here. Okay, it's actually going this way. Here's the arrow that would be on the end of it. So I would write that right here. And I would fill in that circle. Okay, and that filled in circle means I have a line underneath, just like I had above. Okay, this is B, and it's 52. And because you're going this direction, it is a less than sign. Okay. And there's no little filled in part here, and since it's not filled in, there's no equal to sign there. Okay. All right, here's the thing you gotta be careful of. On your Clever, chances are you're gonna have a lot of answers that look exactly the same. The only difference is these symbols here are gonna be different. Okay, you're gonna have maybe something that looks just like it, but you'll have a greater than sign rather than greater than or equal to. Or maybe you'll have one of these, or maybe the picture will look right, and some of them will have it filled in dots versus knots. Okay, so be careful, take your time with it, all right? You wanna make sure you get points for all of your work, and most people do a pretty good job on it. They get a lot of the points and they'll get a full 5 points for it, but if you miss a lot, then it takes away from your score of 5, okay? So just be aware of that. Let me make sure I didn't miss a slide. That looks good, the one before it does, and I think we're set, all right? If you have any questions, holler at me, and I'll be happy to help you out, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good day.